Hey guys, it's me, Arthur, and you're watching How to Draw Creepy Creatures. Now, as you might know from watching my previous videos, February, in honor of Black History Month, is going to be all creatures from African mythology, which is a theme I'm really excited about. Anyway, I got a couple requests, and that aren't necessarily related to the theme, so I don't keep you guys waiting too long. I'm gonna pepper them throughout the month, so I can still get to them. I just kind of want to get into my main theme. And anyway, so today we're going to be doing Kishi. Now, for those of you who don't know what that is, Kishi is a creature from African mythology, specifically Nigeria, who kind of combines elements from the traditional werewolf and vampire legends, but with an interesting twist. From the front, Kishi looks like a beautiful man with nearly angelic features who is incredibly desirable to all women who meet him, but on the back of his head he has a hyena face that craves human flesh. Now, you're probably thinking of Lord Voldemort from Harry Potter in the first one. Spoilers. where he's connected to the back of the professor's head and he covers them over with the turban and everything. Well, it is very similar to this myth. And there's a lot of symbolism in this story, such as obviously the idea of having two faces, but also the idea of just because somebody looks good on the outside, they could be harboring more sinister intent. Interestingly, Kishi, when we think of a thing with a face at the back of its head, we think, well, that's not biologically possible. Something like that couldn't exist. But the story of Kishi is hauntingly similar to the allegedly real life case of Edward Mordrake, or Mordrake as he's more popularly known. He was a lord who became famous in 1895 after an article was published about him talking about how he absorbed his twin in the womb and was born with his sister's face on the back of his head. Mordrake alleged that the face was functional to some degree, that there was muscle movement, that the mouth could open, and that they shared a brain, and so he said that the face would whisper to him and tell him to do evil things at night. This drove him so insane that he committed suicide at age 23 and explicitly put in his will that the face must be cut off the back of his head and destroyed with fire lest it come back to life and torment the living. So, obviously, very disturbing true story, and it's eerily similar to this legend, which I thought was interesting enough that you guys would probably want to hear about it. But without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, now that we've drawn the basic skeletal structure, we can get into adding some muscle, but you might have noticed that usually when I draw these types of creatures, I do like a full body picture, but since the head is the main focus, is what makes this creature so distinctive, I thought that we would just do more like a portrait sort of thing. But you could just draw this onto a human figure if you want to do a more detailed work. The rest of the body is pretty normal, just like a normal human man's body. So, yeah. Alright, now let's erase some of this and work on the finer details. Let's start with the man's face. Alright, now that we got like the basic sketch, let's add a little bit of shading. Now I kind of wanted him to have like a bit of a darker skin tone, so the shading on his face is going to be a little bit different. You'll see what I mean as I get into it. Okay, so off with your artist mark. Oh, and you have just drawn Kishi, or the Hyena Man. Like, share, and subscribe, you guys. And remember, all of February is going to be African month. However, if you have any comments or suggestions about creatures that you want me to draw or questions about the show, you could just leave it in the comments, and I will be sure to get back to you. And I'm going to be going through people's requests for stuff that they want me to draw that's not necessarily related to the theme. I'm just sort of going to bang those out through the month, like peppering them, so that we can still keep with the African theme. And the link to my Patreon page is in the description, along with my email address. And anybody who finished their artwork, well, I mean, anybody who finished a lesson on the show and would like to show off their artwork, you can just send it to me. And as long as you give me your permission, I will show off the show with your name so everyone knows that you did it. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Happy Black History Month, and goodbye.